Give up your day job to venture into my wilderness. I chew up furloughs like cigar at the Preakness. Locating your weakness, then lock on. I'm feeling like the stealth. Putting night raids over Iran. You may try to borrow, thinking your last name is Saddam, but my mission is to seek and destroy. So, listen up. Bye. Listen up. I started with one step, but I journeyed for miles. Now I am the franchise. Kick back, check the NASDAQ, watch my stock rise. Like Mercury in July on the east side, taking fools to their untimely demise. Besides, on an asteroid I ride, to places where few true scholars reside. Instead of dropping rhymes, you dropping nickels and dimes. With a click in time, murder 9. Hawaiian necktie before you commit the unspeakable crime. Making rap waters murky, herky-jerky. Sucking up the boys' flow like it was a slurpee. I've got unparalleled vintosity. I'm keeping it real so real can keep it for me. Pulling your whole card, show everybody you dirty. Then leave you lying in a state of purgatory. They say you never miss your water until your well run dry. And over spilled milk a big man is not supposed to cry. Well then, Butterbrimo, if you're the woman Butterbrimo, them could have charged her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking Butterbrimo. Fully they made examine, figure lose such a sweet browning. Butterbrimo, now it's the dread she call it when she need sexual healing. Anyways, one man lost is another man's gain. If you can't handle the traffic, then stay out the lane. Behind her beautiful smile, she was hiding her pain. You couldn't see the tears due to the falling rain. But with a woman emotions, son, you don't wanna play games. Then got certain moves that want put you to shame. And then you begging and your balling will all be in vain. When I bet she call the next man name. Remember all of the first time you meet it. You have to do that much more for keep it. Candlelight dinner, wine and chocolate. Don't forget the roses, big man, you stalk it. You should have me walk her down to the pulpit and remove her sexy ass from off for the market. Your friends don't have no woman, but them calling you whip. And like an idiot, you believe it. Butterbrimo, if you're the woman Butterbrimo, them gonna charge her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking. Butterbrimo, fully made examine, figure lose such a sweet specimen. Butterbrimo, now it's the dread she call it when she need sexual healing. A woman is a gift unto humanity. Treat her with respect and dignity. Heed the words of the great Tyrus Riley. She royal, will treat her like royalty. She works, she cooks, she clean and wash your stinking laundry. All she wanted in return was your loyalty. Could I make her a carnival free karaoke? Her love just come down and she need a remedy. You met her at the peak of her sexuality. Wrong time to leave a big woman lonely. Pretty like an angel, but she well freaking. And now she feeling horny. Income not a dread to fulfill her fantasy. She blows when I whisper sweet nothing softly. She's on a journey, onto ecstasy. Butterbrimo, if you're the woman Butterbrimo, them gonna charge her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking.
Greetings in the name of all things good and gracious. Welcome to another edition of our Thursday evening podcast. Let me see if I can get this straightened up here. I'm telling you right now, I'm not 100% here. I've been battling a severe flu and virus that's been going around, and it's awful. So I'm trying to recover that. Bear with me. If you hear me going to only coughing fit or something like that, I'll try to mute the mic so that it doesn't offend anyone. As usual, we're here on the Sea Smoke edition. We call this one Read Me In, as they say in Washington when they want to be in the know. Read me in. Let me know what is going on. We, of course, narrate that and come to read our EID as opposed to read our EAD. So look for us every Thursday night. We normally have Jay Spooner with us. Um, the expert joker will not be on tonight. And we're looking maybe Gregory Morrison will join us. Let's see how that goes. But we have a couple of exciting guests this evening that I think you're going to enjoy. Of course, we're here with no agendas, no axe to grind, no scapegoat, no political, personal, religious, no other kind of agenda at all on the table. Just facts, straight facts. I see in the room already is the representation of the whole white race. Mr. J.A. Spooner, the man that look around, who we talk about? Who we talk about?
Ja Rastafari, ever
Ever
living.
living. Yes, man. How you go, bro?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm sorry to hear that you've got the flu. I had it 3 weeks ago. It's a nasty one.
Oh man, it's rough. It's rough. Well,
Headaches.
yeah, but how you know? Yeah.
Well, the one I caught had bad, and I don't suffer from headaches, but I got a headache. No drainage of the nose, no a dry cough, aches and pain over the whole body.
Aches and
Wasn't
pain
very
indeed.
nice. Wasn't
Yeah.
very nice. But
I'm
I'm
not.
okay now. I'm okay now.
Yeah, that's good. I wish I could say the same, but I'm just still in the recovery stage. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to wuss out like some people and don't want to show up because I'm sick. But if I if I drop out halfway through the show, you have to hold on and carry through. Um, couple of things on the agenda we're going to see. All right, Aaron Anderson is in the house. Wonderful. What's going on, Aaron?
You're right, yeah, G Mike.
All
I
right.
mean, I say while I'm in the back room, the wait,
Uh-huh.
you look different, and now I know the hair that the flu got you.
Why?
Um,
Well, I
blessings be, man. I hope you feel better quickly.
I hope it's not as bad as it'll make you song. I mean, in a different, yeah. But yeah, but actually, I just get up yesterday. I mean, done like 4 days. One day I could hardly move, man.
Yeah.
Um, this one was I don't catch flus often. And it's a while since I've had a cold like that. But this one really got me. And I'm out there, and then people tell me that because I'm in walk out barefoot in the water, which I was, but it not usually affect me. One lady pass and holler, "You want to get sick?" And people need to stop that foolishness, them, man, because they want power suggestion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first thing that comes to your mind that you want to wish from a person, and say, "Boy, enjoy the water," right? Something like that. But nevertheless, it happen, and every now and again your body need a clean out too, So I have to
That,
look on the positive of that. So, Aaron, your party had a convention, but you were missing. What going on? I had a call for you, and had award for you, all kind of thing, but you were nowhere to be found.
sure, I never hear about no award what they had for give me, man.
Everyone, I hear you a big award and thing, but Jeremy, you and Aaron are friends?
I don't know the gentleman. No, I don't.
Are
No.
you kidding? Aaron, and the introduction
Soon
is in
as you
order.
know, I've never met you, but I hear enough about you.
Oh yes.
Not
If
for
anything,
me.
no believe what G might tell you.
Not for me, for sure.
Cool.
A
A
cream,
cool.
a cream.
Uh, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Prem. Oh, you listen to the groove, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Prem radio station. Yeah.
me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Can you introduce yourself to me, who you are, and so on?
Well, because we both listen to Creme, either the president or Griga.
Okay.
But Aaron Anderson from Dangrigatong,
Okay.
Belizean from Aban, um, they are that about it. I mean, most people know me just from Dangriga and never ventured outside of Dangriga for school, like well, a lot of other family members of mine. So I don't do the SJC thing and whatnot. I'm still local until
So you know White Garufuna, because they used to call me White Carob one time when I was growing up.
I
A
guess so.
derogative term.
I
Did
guess
they
so.
tease you that? Call you White Garufuna?
No, you know.
No?
I think
Okay.
because I'm a
They're afraid
bond,
for you. They're afraid for you. Got
How
you.
about white cheese? Then call you white cheese?
they call me brother white cheese.
Uh,
They used to chant to me and beat me up until I get big.
Then you get big and then left you alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then realize like G Mike said, all right, maybe we have to lift this balilo.
but not only that, you know, they chance it till they decide you fight back. Then they don't want chance it then. Because
Yeah.
they're mostly the cowards where the chance people like that, right? Bullies are cowards. And once they realize they might get hurt or the person will fight back, they're not going. Yeah, that's it. They're gonna find somebody else, another victim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but they
I interrupted you. Sorry. So he's mentioned something about the convention this past Sunday. You are a UDP representative, or you belong a delegate to the party, or
I was a delegate until October 5th.
of this year? Of this year.
Yeah, of this year. I ran for caretaker for the Dangriga constituency. I lost that to Earth Lopez. And she is now the caretaker. And on that team, I no longer hold a delegate position, but I am the chair of public relations for the Dangriga UDP constituency. I also hold a zone leader position as well as I forget what the next one. I got 3 positions though.
no.
Okay.
So you're still a UDP.
Of course.
Well, you say of course, but we never see you at the convention.
Under the pressure, UDP.
Well, I G Mike, honestly, I chose not to go to the convention because I run a contract right now and for fly down and back up in time for continue serve this contract may cost me a couple $1,000s for a weekend.
I know me, I do they know.
I couldn't justify it.
You know me, do they no good nor you no good?
Right, exactly. So
Yeah.
I did gather my entire campaign team, and they went. The whole team when we campaigned for me joined the Dangriga delegation and gone.
But Aaron, I know that running around, a lot of people know you, and a lot of people give you the word that boy, I want to support you, I got your back. But do you find that a lot of that just talk and that then people not really look for support you?
Remember, I tell you, elections, that convention, I never may have spent a dime for buy a vote.
Yeah. And that means you don't make no money, you never win.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Do you think now that elections are decided by how much money you spend as opposed to how good a plan you have to offer the people?
That I mean a question?
Yeah. But do you
Um
do you think that you could really come with fresh ideas and convince people who the next man to come with $50 a piece?
I actually have to say, G Mike, that I do. I still believe that it's possible.
Why that naivety?
Because I'm not sure, remember I had my team the campaign for about a month on the street.
Right.
And the other 2 players made a do it for about 4 months.
Webster number 1, right? Webster number
Yeah,
1.
Webster I'm one.
What he do? He never win?
No.
Boy, we can't hear the end of that if he may ever win, boy. God, that man, how no get long, no patch up, no.
Yeah, I for peace sake, we both settled the score face to face. Because in order for grow, you need all sides for come together and grow.
You were a supporter of Shine, right? As opposed to Tracy.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
But of course, Tracy won out. How do you feel about her as a leader? Do you think she's gonna fit the bill?
You know, I used to say when the question came up about who do I support, Shine or Tracy, and I used to always say I support the duly elected, the legally elected.
Mhm.
And right now that Tracy take our panton, Honorable Tracy, and I will do whatever is asked within my means for to show my support.
But it sounds like you support the position
The
and not the
position, yes,
person.
right.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure you have an opinion as far as how you think she's gonna do. Is she gonna last? Does she have what it takes to bring the UDP out of that quagmire? Guy, you know that don't leave it. Don't leave it.
I think that she does it. I believe that any person that rises to that position has the ability to do so, but it is always dependent on the people that are surrounding.
But
And
didn't
it
she?
will be very important to see who she surrounds herself with and what she allows.
Did when you say rise to that position, didn't she get there primarily by default though, as opposed to just outright winning the support of everybody there? Because all right, when Shine went to in Masup against Limark, and Limark of course outspent her, or at that, I mean the campaign against Shine was vicious also.
Yeah, it
I,
was.
I think it was unfair. Um, in particular, Channel 7 boy, they gone all out to support the other candidate. But so I don't know that Tracy got there based upon personality or potential so much that as opposed to there was basically nobody else. I mean, so but I wish you well. I don't want to dampen your spirit. I don't want to talk. Jeremy, what do you think? What do you think about the situation with the UDP?
Well, they wouldn't get my vote right now. They seem to be at odds with each other, at each other's throats. Um, as everybody says, you need a strong opposition. This is not personal, but looking at the reputation or the baggage that John Saldiva has, and um, I'm the teacher. How can I forget his name?
Patrick.
Patrick. How could you allow John Saldiva to run for chairmanship with his baggage that he has, and
Yeah.
also the baggage that the other gentleman has, and he's now made a senator. It's not personal. I know him when I was at ACB, and I used to do a lot of photography. Patrick was always a gentleman to me, always very respectful and so on. But he has baggage too, and especially when you think that you got a woman leader of the UDP. So that's why they wouldn't get my vote. If the leader of the UDP accepts that and the women in the UDP accept that, then I got a problem with that. No?
That exactly what I mean by it depends on who she surrounds herself with.
Yeah, I
I
figured that when you said that. Yeah,
yeah, I think Patrick's biggest problem is that a drinking problem, and I wish
yeah, yeah.
he has said he had sought help for that, but but alcohol thing, and I want to segue into that at some point coming up because the whole alcohol thing, and I was hearing about Belize being one of the of the most plagued with alcohol for the
Yeah.
region. Did you guys hear that they get that report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's when he had the altercation with the policeman, and then they followed him home. Yeah.
Correct. There was a bunch of
Don't say liquor, just say baggage. Everybody will know what we're talking about. Yeah,
Eh,
oh
eh,
boy, but
because
yeah,
he's got
well,
several suitcases of baggage. Yeah.
that's right. So only one of them a liquor. One of kind of abusive personality seem to for
Yeah,
carry
it's
too,
a
no?
pity because he's a nice man, the
And
one
and,
that
and,
I
and,
know,
and
the
not
one
a
that
dumb
I know.
guy. I've heard him in the house, and he speaks well on his feet.
Yeah,
Better than a lot of the other parliamentarians in there.
He could run, you know. I was at Belmopan on Independence Hill when he take off and the
Oh,
police
yeah, you
went
may
to
have
chase him.
been,
That boga could run, yeah, man, he
yeah.
fast. But
When,
he look
when
like he put on a lot of weight now, so I don't know if he
you
could
man
run
can't run like
fast.
that again. The police had to chase on them and catch them, boy.
Yeah.
But
You
they
know, when we were younger, all our women they run faster, you know.
The
tell the
truth,
truth.
definitely, yes.
Some of we can't walk right now. But
And
yeah.
other things.
No man, but really I'm a sad situation though, because every democracy needs a vibrant opposition, an opposition in place to put pressure on the government, and also to make them have an alternative in place. So
Aaron, if you want a position in Dangriga as a standard bearer, what portfolio would your background bring to the country in cabinet for the UDP?
Tourism or health?
Tourism or health? Okay. Are you in
yeah.
tourism right now?
Yes.
Yes, you are. In Dangriga. Do you live in the States or you live in Belize?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I have a digital marketing company that specializes in hospitality. I have a degree in hospitality management. I have a bunch of certificates and degrees through Google for marketing, and I also have a pre-law paralegal degree.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. But would you, if you were to be selected as a standard bearer for Dangriga, in that area, would you be willing to give up your business in the U.S., or would you would you hang on to that also?
I have because it's digital marketing, everything run digitally.
So you can work from Belize
Yeah,
with that. Yeah.
that's why I'm always in Belize, because I could just run the contracts from anywhere.
You have any tourism business down there? You got any you got a resort or anything like that?
No, not yet.
No, you work on that.
I'm not sure if I want a resort. You know, I think what I envision is more of a retirement community for not the rich, but for the middle class, hard working people. We might not have the ability to afford um, retirement in their homeland,
Hmm.
and would need was safe, secure, but also um, up to date solution were affordable. And I know that we could do that, I believe.
Well, my question is that all right, do we be offering that to them? What could they offer to us if they don't got the kind of income on the level of money that could help us? No.
By that I mean, when I say by money, I mean you don't need to have millions for retire. We could do it reasonably.
No good
And
401.
yeah, like a 401k, or even if you don't have a 401k and you work your 30, 40 years, for example, that it states, you will have a decent social security as of now anyway,
Yeah.
that I would like to see people could live off of, and it might not impact the community at large, but everybody will have to work in a retirement community will have jobs and things like that. And that the way it could help.
Yeah.
Because anything we could create jobs in a Belize right now, I think we need to explore, because the job creation kind of stagnant.
And of course, every American dollar that two believes, no?
Yep,
So whatever they bring, double up.
exactly.
But yeah, it looks good for tourism. I was watching the news, and they were saying that the numbers are up already for next month, and yeah, it seems especially with the government closed closed down coming to an end, the people are now picking up again. They're traveling and whatnot, no? So
Yeah.
hope,
And
hopefully,
there's quite a few cruise ship tourists in Belize City to have noticed these past couple of weeks. It usually starts Thanksgiving weekend or 1 week before Thanksgiving weekend. and then it peaks out, and then it starts going down around about Easter time. You
But
know.
the crime situation in Belize City gonna have any effect on that? Because things are not looking well as far as that is concerned.
Well, from
Uh,
my experience, having the cafe right there in the thoroughfare from the tourist village, that is one of the excuses that the tourist village will tell the tourists don't venture out. If you're not going to take a tour, stay in the village. It's safe. It's unsafe. And this is coming from the tourists that tell me that because I'd always talk to them, find out how they like Belize, how was their trip. Is it true that that they have been told not to come out the village? And apparently it is true that and then of course they hear about the crime. Some of them read about it too, and it doesn't look good, and it gives them the impression like there's like the old west, shooting on the street everywhere. They're going to be mobbed, they're going to be raped, they're going to be kidnapped, and all
well,
of it is all of it's a load of bollocks. It's not
that
true.
that you're right. That because it's crime, not the black and black crime. These guys in the hood fighting each other and whatnot, yeah, killing one another. But
Yeah.
we haven't seen an assault on tourists as such. Rarely will you hear
No, it's very
any.
rare if there's any. It's
Yeah,
very
so,
rare.
and in fact, most I think young boys out there will be nice to
Yeah.
the tourists if they meet them, no? And they yeah, I
Well,
think
I get, yeah. A couple guys came last year. A couple guys came. Can you hear me? Because it looks like the internet is
Yeah.
breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you now. We
Can
hear
you
you now.
guys
Yeah,
hear me? You hear me?
yeah.
Okay. A couple guys came to my cafe last year when I was managing it, and I did notice that they were kind of effeminate, But I got to talk to them, nice guys. And then at the end of it, the guy says, I don't know if you know, but we're both homosexual. I said, well, I figured I thought, and I think you that a man and you that a woman. And they laughed
Oh,
when I told them that. But they asked me, in all seriousness, how safe is it for them in Belize? And I told them that there is homophobia here. And I advised them not to hold hands or do any kissing on the street in public. And they were very grateful for that information. So
but
they are, they come into a country that's not like their country where they're accepted or where crime is under control, and they hear about the third world, the drugs, the gangs, and all of that. So yes, it is a deterrent for Belize City. I don't think it's a deterrent for San Pedro, Kikaka, Placencia, and those.
where were they from?
They were American.
Because they got their own share
You
of
may I like one of
homophobia.
them, G. Like one of them was very cute.
Okay. Uh, no, cute as like Budna though.
No. Far
No, no,
better looking
Budna
than
cute.
Budna.
Uh,
And they wiggle a little bit more than Budna.
no, listen. Again,
But I asked
America.
seriousness, they were very concerned. And I just gave them some good advice. They weren't insulted. They just thanked me very much for giving them that bit of information.
All right.
They asked me about crime too. In fact, a black family came to my cafe and they were all sitting there and I got talking to them. And they were told, don't venture out of the village because there was a danger that there would be crime against them. And the guy said he looked outside and he see lone black people. He said, no man, then are my people, man. I could come out. Then nobody am bother with me. And so they came out and they were very happy that they came out. So they do tell them in the village not to come out. But too many tourists have told me that. What is that?
And I know that you're trying to shoot somebody over there. Say, I'm
Oh,
a
you
No
shoot.
guys
man,
in
no
the
man.
same
Never hear
house?
that.
Are you guys in the same house?
And then Nacho.
Aaron and
No,
Gregory, are you
I
guys in the
think
same
one
house?
I have to change the background thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. What change right?
I don't know what kind of options you got. I'm gonna try. I always did like the one behind Greg, and I'm really think. Good evening, Greg. Welcome.
Welcome, Greg.
Good evening.
I always thought that piano was real behind him, and then it finally tell me no, this is my wallpaper.
Yeah.
So I don't have many options though. Greg then gear with that, right? I see they got the one with the brick
No,
behind me.
they have others, but not within the same platform. But you could go on the internet and grab different options.
And yeah, well, I've tried that. I know, easy.
You're
But
not a
that's
real Belizean, Greg. You need for showcase your TV and your stereo system in the background. When I used to develop film, when I was a photographer and also had my 1 hour mini lab, a lot of Belizeans would take picture next to their TV and their stereo system to highlight all their possessions, which I
Oh,
found quite funny. Yeah.
well, sometime I'm different places. Sometime at work, like this evening I'm at work. Sometime I'm at home.
Okay.
It catches me a little hard on since time change because I get off from work at 5 o'clock. So on those occasions, if I'm not working remotely at home, then I'm in the office or sometimes I'm at the field and I'm even at places like Starbucks.
Yeah.
you're on the West Coast, right?
Yes, no, I'm on the east. Yeah, I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California.
Yeah. How was Thanksgiving?
It was great. I really enjoyed the time off. I got to relax from half day on Wednesday until Monday when I went back into the office. So that was great.
And the Christmas holidays are
It's upon
on.
us. It's upon us, and
Yes,
I have
man.
so much work to get out before
Uh,
the Christmas holiday comes. Like everybody wants their project, and our office is extremely busy.
why? But and time flies. In particular, when you have things to do, it seems like it zoom faster, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Greg, you know Iran, of course.
No, I haven't met Aaron before. Good evening. Good
Aaron, how
evening.
you see that stranger to a lot of them people? I'm glad. Yeah, Aaron is ran for caretaker for the UDP. He's Greg. Be happy to know he's a staunch UDP.
What does caretaker mean? I'm not familiar with that term, G Mike. What does caretaker mean?
Aaron can explain that to you better than I can.
Yeah.
Caretaker basically because for the general election, our standard bearer stepped aside, did not put himself for the national election. So we were left without representation. And so the caretaker basically is the bridge between the having no one and the standard bearer in 2 years.
For what division? For what constituency?
Dangriga constituency.
Dangriga?
Mhm.
I saw that. Yeah, Greg. Yeah. Aaron. I mean, and I am skeptical, and I don't want to put no dump up on it, but I'm saying he kind of tough because even listen, I was watching the thing with Miss World, Miss Universe, and they got a lot of slack because then somebody take a picture with her in front of some.
A painting. It was a painting.
It was a painting, no?
Yes,
And
yes.
boy,
By Miss
people
Palacio.
Yes.
gone off on that man as if and that why they put the white person way up front and then the black people in the background. And but about this lady will run for Miss Universe, that she that is star.
Yeah.
But are we ever gonna get past this racist thing, this color thing, man, and this
Well, we never will. We never will.
You really think-
Aaron, is your family from Belize?
Dangriga?
Oh, okay. Okay.
the man born and raised at Dangriga, man.
Okay. He's one of those whitey from Belize.
Well,
Yeah.
see, yeah, I've got two of them.
In a white cheese like me.
Yeah. So my past side, Bowman Queelan Anderson.
Okay. Bowman, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
Is Lee Anderson your family? He was a bank manager for Royal Bank of Canada, Lee Anderson.
not that I am aware of.
Which
Did-
Andersons are you related to? Because I know a few.
We had a lot of Anderson in the early history of Belize, way back. Is
Right.
that your
That's
relationship?
it. That's it. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, my grandmother worked for Dr. Anderson, and I didn't know him, but my dad always tell me how great he was
That's
to
my
our
father.
family.
Okay.
Your father is the Dr. Anderson. Well, that's interesting. There's a connection, Greg.
Yeah. My grandmother worked for Dr. Anderson.
Yep.
Did she ever get her severance pay? And on the money?
We'll collect it from
This
Aaron.
is the way I'm saying. Here we go, right here. Yeah, guys.
That's my father's side, and my mother's side is Longsworth and Geg from Belize City.
Oh,
Okay.
gig. You're a gig also. Is okay.
You know, see this nose? That a
Yeah.
gig nose.
That I Edgar. So you Pancho gig. That your cousin. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I
Well,
know
you're
them.
well rooted and seasoned in beliefs from
Oh, he's
those.
a Belizean. He's a
Yeah,
Belizean,
yeah,
and that's an interesting thing, right? Because people think of Belizeans as a Creole, and
yes.
then you have the Garifuna, you got the Mennonites, you got the Chinese, but they're all this thing. But
You have
there's
the
a
East Indian. The East Indian.
yeah,
We often forget about them.
yeah. Then the Mayans, of course,
Yes, of course. They're the
uh,
native. They're the
the
indigenous
melting pot.
people.
But we do have remnants of the Caucasian race that
Yeah, and they're not just Mennonites, right?
Right.
no, the
I don't know
Mennonites
Mennonite.
that just come. Then
Yeah,
then
yeah,
why
yeah,
then why they
yeah,
find the whole thing find the slave master me the work the fields and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah, that one interesting melting pot we got here. And
Hmm.
I think if we go all come together and it's I'm saddened to hear you think that we're not gonna work it out, Greg, because we have to.
We no, well, I didn't say we won't work it out. I believe that there's a lot of work to get it worked out. I believe that I said that racism is real. It is real in
Oh, it's
Belize.
real. I mean, yeah,
It,
listen,
it is real in Belize, and it needs and more than racism in Belize is classism. You see,
right, right,
and
right.
and
Well,
and, and
that racism too, because the color,
no racism
some
too.
of some of
Racism
them
too.
can't get past the color,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's not. It's from two sides, from all sides actually. Then everybody seems to think that they're the best, they're better than everybody else, and
Well,
this
that's
one.
what my mom told me.
Wait, tell you that you better than everybody else.
He says that you stand up to everybody else.
Well, you could stand up to them, but then you can't stand above anybody.
Well,
This is where the problem is.
but
When
that's what I think. Basically, what happens in the most instances is it's people believing that they, you know, are. It's when people start believing they deserve something beyond the rest. That's
privilege
the
that
problem.
others don't
Yeah,
aren't supposed to get.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. And nobody really deserves more than they work for and what they get. No, so I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I hope that it's gonna improve because what we have is not working well. Huh? Hold on.
Well, the gentleman that was on last week, remember, he said that there's no real representation of the Garufuna people in government. Remember?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they're always saying that, but then I don't know how much representation they want and how.
Well, I think they want equal representation because the only time I think we had few Garifuna representation, we had Dr.
Telerana,
Aranda.
yeah, the
We,
number of
yeah, we had
Sylvia Flores.
Sylvia. It was, but she wasn't in the House. She was in the Senate.
Yeah,
I
she
think.
was.
Yeah, she was
She was
She was in the
speaker.
House.
she
She
was
was
the
in the House.
speaker of the house one time. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah,
Well,
and we had. I think UDP
You have
had
Myrtle
one guy.
Palacio. Myrtle Palacio.
yes, she was.
Well, she was
She's
in the
a
Senate.
prominent
She
Belizean.
no man, she local. Mira
She-
Belmpan.
Oh yeah.
Who was the mayor of Mapan? Myrtle?
Palacio, not Myrtle. It wasn't Myrtle. It was the other.
No. Yeah, it wasn't Myrtle.
It
Myrtle,
was the other one.
where the girl name?
Sharon.
Sharon.
I can't remember her name.
Actually, she was mayor of Belmopan, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've had representation. The Garfinas have
Yes,
had
yes.
representation.
I'm talking
in
I
national
government.
disagree with you,
representative.
G-Mike.
Huh?
I disagree with you.
That what?
That they had reputation or representation.
You
How you
don't
have
think?
representation of one person who represent what constituency of 10,000 people? When in a
Yeah,
Belize
yeah.
city you
When
have
everybody else have four for that.
yeah, exactly. That not
Those
representation.
10,000 people, that you talk about Dangriga, representing Dangriga, the 10,000 people.
Well, Dangriga
Yeah.
itself at 7,000 right now.
All right. But you are a part of that, and as some others like you were a part of that. So that no, that's that whole that 10,000, I know, 10,000 Garifuna people. You see, I'm
Still, I
saying
come from a majority Garifuna community,
right.
and from day one, when you have the southern half of the country represented by only 4 people for the whole time,
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Then they talk about we know to develop fast enough for damn people, this and that and that and that. That because we don't have equal representation.
All right, but we're talking about another matter there. Where you did it, Greg?
It's the remix.
Yeah, that's a remix day. Listen, no man, but when you talk about equal representation, I mean, how equal do you want? I mean, how many do you have to consider it equal?
Well,
Is it based upon the percentage of the how many? What are the percentage of the population of Belize that's Garifuna?
I don't want to
I
look
think
on
it's
it
like
that.
I think it's like 9% or something like that.
9%.
Yeah.
So then, all right, I can the house should I want what like two representatives to believe that you're equally represented.
I
Or,
disagree.
but yeah, Aaron, because they disagree on another matter because I understand about the whole redistricting that is supposed to be taking place and the inequality of the constituencies as such,
Yes.
But like the one in Belize, we got 4 judges with about what 2, 3, 4,000 people, and the
So
next.
No, like 2,500 or something like that.
make I put it to you this way, G Mike. This is how I see it, right? You to look on it as what representation by culture. That's how you explain it right now. I'm not saying that's how you always look on it. That's how you use it now.
Right.
My thing is, if you're in a community where the majority might be one culture compared to others, then that majority should have or has enough voters, registered voters, to have 2 representatives, but then we still only serve 1. Then you already give that community what injustice.
But
Now,
who
if you look at
uh,
the northern half of Belize compared to the southern half of Belize, majority the Garifuna.
right.
In the southern half of Belize, how much representatives we have? 4.
Uh-huh.
For the southern half of the country. So
Now,
if we want to take away,
What's the population what's your estimated count of the population for that southern half?
about 10,000.
no, that
No.
one constituency. Registered voters, you
No, I'm
have
just thinking citizens. I'm just thinking because people get represented whether you're voting or not.
the southern half. So I'm talking Stan Creek district and Toledo district have about 125,000.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, who's the area representative right now for Dangriga?
Louis Zavani?
Louis Zabane. And he's not a Garifuna.
No.
So how did that come about if you have so many Garifuna voters out there, obviously they're not voting for themselves.
They never have in a most part, because actually my cousin was the representative for Stan Creek for the longest. David McCoy, when he was alive, he was for many years. He was the area representative for Stan Creek way back in the original of when they start developing our constitutional or constituencies. Yes.
And he's not Garifuna, right?
No, he was not.
Yeah, but he got the votes.
Yes, he did. He did.
Great man he was, and a patient of my father as well.
Okay.
I remember him very well, and always a very respectable person. That's one of the people that shaped my want for political involvement.
Old school politician.
How dignitary he was. How much of a dignitary he was.
Yes.
Well, back then, I think they paid more emphasis on that as opposed to the glitter and all the fashion and whatnot. Right now, I mean, you don't have that. They don't demand of. I don't think we demand it from our representatives. I think we need to And we the people have to be blamed. I don't think that just the guys were going there and not doing them for those. That we that don't demand of them, and again not put the people in there that has the best integrity. No, we once that $50 start give out, boy, the votes start rolling, and I don't know. I, Jeremy, you remember ACB, Aaron?
Association Concerned Belizeans came
Yes.
out in 2003. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Jeremy was one a key individual in that. But you never did have aspirations for office, now, Jeremy.
No, never did. In fact, Dean Barrow, I don't know if you'll recall it, but he asked me if I'd like to run, and I said no. I prefer being out in the trenches as a watchdog fighting corruption. Yeah.
You haven't done too well in that regard. So
Well,
you
as
failed
when
miserably.
UDP won,
Hey,
the
he just
UDP
been,
people in ACB just decided.
This side, you see what I'm saying? Once
he
you
must
leave,
have- Mike, he just been watching it.
yeah, just watching it. That way saying you do. You can't blame him if you do what you say you do.
But
But
it brought down the UDP, the PUP, and it gave the UDP one of their biggest victories ever.
and
That was the
that
consequence.
seemed to be enough. Then everybody get what we call nigger rich. We're satisfied with this, so we are
Forget
right.
me. So prejudiced they are, racist they are. They never get a white boy nothing, nothing at all. All the other ones in the ACB get something except spooners. I
But
think
then
they think that I had enough money as it is.
But then they
So-
give it a cafe, right? You know,
So,
get a cafe.
Mr. Anderson, there'll be no hustling for you if you get in to be a minister. And I said that white boy got a lot of money, nothing for him.
But
Plain State.
and maybe that's why you not get in, because they figure he might not get in there for hustle, and if you don't hustle, how you give everybody else what they need?
Well,
So
If you don't-
do
if you don't
guys see
give
the
out
big
no-
concern? Do you guys see the big going on with Mr. Cowie, that Senator Cowie, that because he declared his assets
Assets as-
Yeah.
and how people are acting in such uproar. Actually, I do like when people that has assets get in. We hope that they don't have the need or desire to take from the national treasury.
It's probably a plus.
And that they lend us their expertise in some meaningful way that we could develop the country. So I like when that happens. And I think if we lean too much on people like that, we take away the incentive for people of that nature to participate in government, which I think is necessary. We don't just need hustlers in the government. We need people that are already well established.
But
And,
you're assuming that they aren't also hustlers, and sometimes they're bigger hustlers.
well, that is true, and that's what I'm saying. We hope that they have enough and don't feel the need to.
Yeah. You would hope, but human nature being what it is, how much is enough? Because
Well,
You see that because you're a PUP, G-Mike. So that's how you think.
Yeah.
You naturally think about the hustle, bro.
Yeah, you see, and that low,
It's in the
that not fair. But that's all right. Listen, I had to watch Bill Maher the other night, and Bill Maher was saying that in the talk about with Mamdani, who suggests that there should be no billionaires, and he said, "But who will get to 999,000 and want stop?" He said, "Everybody want more." And that's the problem, because we always want more, and we have a threshold that we want to maintain, and then keep the raise, because you figure you go back way if you lose, even though you got still millions and millions, you lose if you not gain more. So that one tough.
Yeah.
Tough call.
Well, the drive is there. They don't want to. They don't want to stop. The drive is there. That's what drives them.
Well, people want to get $1 trillion now.
That's it.
But
what you do with that kind of money there, though?
Yeah, there's only so much billion to go around. So at some, I do like the idea that that people give away back some of their money to some charity and stuff. There's no
That
reason
would be
why
good. Yeah. Yeah.
people should be.
Hoarding the
It's okay
money.
to be motivated to earn and stuff, but you need to give some of that money back at some point. There's no reason why few families or one or few individual should have that amount of resources locked away. It does no good to the society.
It ain't doing no good to them because they just got it. But wait, how many houses can you live in?
Yeah.
You know, they go wrong to buy one island, buy different a whole lot of property and whatnot, and keep investing and making more money. At the end of the day,
What is wrong with that, G Mike? What is wrong with
you're
making
greedy.
more money?
You're greedy. You're greedy. You're greedy. When
Well, there's
No,
something
no,
wrong. No, there's something wrong with it when the society doesn't have, and that's why I said nothing wrong with the competition of earning it and then finding a way to return some of that to the society.
But a lot of them do. A lot of them give all those.
Yeah.
A lot of them do. So a lot of
And
causes.
I agree. We look at the Gates Foundation. We look at the Jobs Foundation. We look at the what's the guy from Amazon?
Oh,
Bezos.
Bezos or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see where the guy from Dell gave
Yes,
6
yes.
point something billion?
Yeah, the Dell Foundation. Yes.
All right. I got two things for step on this. One, I guess Honorable Coe, because he's in our Senate. I know, appreciate the fact that his financials were publicized.
Well, they have to.
No, they have to. That's a law.
Make I finish this thought.
Yeah,
I think that if there is an investigation that comes up, then yes, you publicize it. But I like that.
It's called financial disclosure.
You
It's
have
the
to
law.
declare.
Yes,
you have to declare your assets.
Yes, I agree with it completely. But for make it get leaked, and he have that kind of money and investments, that could make him a target. And so I would like that information to be a little bit more protected until we, the public, need it for maybe what criminal investigation.
I disagree.
All right, that's fair.
In fact, here's the reason for it now, because we want to know that if you go in, and we've seen it happen. Take a man like Boots, John Saldiva, right there, gone in. I remember before he got elected, he didn't ride on a bicycle around the
name.
He only remember the UDP name.
Let's see who I could think about. Joe Coe.
Joe not here to defend himself. So
that's it. None of them body defend themselves. But I mean, if you go in there poor and come out rich, and I mean, granted that you make a nice salary, then what, 100,000 a year?
Yeah. And all the perks.
And all the perks.
And all the perks, yes. But still, how can you come out with 10 houses and millions in the bank? You can't. So
I disagree. I think you could if you're smart.
How?
If you take that salary, okay, you ready for go through this?
Yes, let's go.
You have a housing allowance. You don't own your house, right?
Right.
You could take the housing allowance and pay yourself for that. You could take that as an investment to the bank and say, make a build this and that and that.
You can't do that and serve the people. That a full-time job, you don't invest that then, or are you a representative for the people?
It is your allowance for the house.
Yeah, but no, the work that you put in.
You know that you have that allowance to come in every month. You could go to the bank and say, hey, I have this.
Right.
Make a get a loan on it and build this and that.
But you missed the point I'm making here, man.
I'm just saying, no, I agree with your point.
Listen to what I'm saying here now, because if you get elected to work for the people and serve the people, in particular area like what you talk about, with 10,000 people there, that's a lot of work that you have to put in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got time for the go to worry about the bill no house and whatnot. I mean, I think that's unfair. You're not giving Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say on what you're saying, it is probably possible to build some wealth, but I don't know about but it depends how long you're there. It depends on how long you're there. So you could build some wealth in that position. And I hear what you're saying, Mr. Chairman, that there's so much work to be done in the community. How do you split yourself to deal with your own interests, and will that cause some conflict? And probably it will at some point.
It has to. It
Yeah.
has to. And then you wind up the get special favors because they buy stuff from certain individuals. They want it won't want a slippery slope there.
Al- Also, you're privy to a lot of good investment options being in government and so on, and then you can divert your money to that and so on.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Take advantage of it. I think if a person go into politics, that I want them a full time job, and you really have to dedicate your entire life to that, and or when we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
actually, to me, it's an honorable position and a privileged position that you have there, and your focus should be for the benefit of the people. That's the what do you call it,
That's the
utopia
ideal. That's
or
the
the
Yeah.
vision.
ideal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
The ideal.
that's why I am strong for term limits.
Yeah.
3 terms, 4 terms, whatever we
I think
determine.
Belize is three
But
terms for
The
the
yeah.
prime
prime minister.
minister is
Prime
Well,
3 years.
Minister,
no, I think the House could go more than 3 terms. I think the House could probably go like 4 or 5 terms, like he's saying. I'm thinking like 4 terms.
but
But
you
one
think
of the
there should be a
issues in
limit?
ACB was the same thing that G Mike started conversation of people handing in their finances, and we found out, and I believe it's the ombudsman who's responsible for that. They're supposed to hand it in to him, and there is a penalty if you do not
Yes,
submit your financials. There's
disclosure.
like a $500 a day, I
Yeah,
think, penalty.
yeah,
And we found out that a lot of people, the majority of the standard bearers and ministers, never handed in their financials.
yeah.
And I
By the
think,
way,
yes,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Because they create these things without penalty, without focus of law to enforce it. They say
there's no
there's this.
enforcement. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then, of course, the ombudsman is actually hired by the government, isn't he? Isn't
Well,
he? I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's not an
I,
independent group.
yeah.
well, but so then that kind of like then defeats the whole purpose, don't you think? I mean, he's supposed to be objective,
Yeah. Well, they're
and
frightened to demand. I tip my hat to Mr. Cowie announcing his financials like that. That's a lot of money. And if
well, that's
you're
a
a
lot of
poor
money.
person, in Belize, that's going to generate a lot of animosity when you
My
think,
boy,
bitch,
how
meaning
you
they,
ever?
I don't think so, because I
you
think
don't think
Belize
so?
people.
I don't know.
No, I mean, it creates a lot of talk, but I think a lot of people know that there's a lot of rich people in Belize. Not a whole lot, but they're
Oh,
significant
there are a bunch of
Oh,
them.
like
A
a lot.
bunch of,
people with significant amount of wealth.
yeah.
People know
Well,
that.
you were talking about billionaires just a few moments ago.
Yes, yes,
Same thing can apply for Belize. You're a poor guy making $150, $200 a week, and you can't even, just you one can't support your
yeah,
family.
yeah,
And you're looking at somebody who, how the hell he got $24 million?
yeah,
Yes, he's a lawyer. I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm
yeah,
just saying that what it could generate, it can generate
yeah,
a lot of animosity. You look at your position in life, how he deserved that. And I can't even, I think
yeah.
what that might do is open the doors for a lot of charities now coming to him for charity. You
Well,
know,
Well,
yeah. I don't know
That
how
would
to
have
put
been
it
good,
on there.
because every day I get hit from somebody for money
I can
for
imagine.
this or that or that or that, and
Yeah.
that was my actual second point. I don't have all this millions and whatnot, but the reason my convention is so close, I think, that because my constituency know how much I did do way before politics, and I ain't afraid to pump what I have into my community, and I have been doing it for years. And G Mike know that about me, because G Mike know what different here on Anderson. G Mike know Griga, man.
hmm.
And that a completely different person, even though it live in the same shell. And
Okay.
that's somebody where could go out and entertain, but could also make what school bag drive, for example.
So we can walk with your head high because you do your share
I do.
to help those who are needy.
And
But I
I
tell
think
you, right now, I got this park next door that I'm working on. I just to try to put some lights and stuff. But the Brown is in New York trying to raise and lead some fund. Every year, I send them some gifts for the toys for the children. I'm saying a man like that with 24 million could have said, "Boy, I'm gonna take only 100,000 and see if I can help this man."
But see, you guys already picking at see, not because somebody have money, I want their money. You see, but that's the problem
No,
we
no,
have
but
when we leave
that's
that
not
kind of.
that's not the point. I don't know that why money. I'm saying
No. But I'm saying
he
that's
should
the,
want to give the money.
yeah.
He
But
got-
that's the idea that people have that, oh, he has this, he should be generous with it.
he should give
No,
something
up to
back.
him if he wants to be generous with his money.
Yeah, but then again, then that brings the year on point. Then he should be worried that somebody might want or a Jude Spooner say develop some bad mind. I want to take away something for now, no? Because I would like to look at his portfolio and see what kind of altruistic things he has done for the community. What kind of has he given to any kind of charity? Has he given anybody anything at all, or has he just been busy making money and compiling the assets like that? And people have an obligation to help others in the community that are less fortunate, and that's the only way we could live in peace.
And that's what I was saying, where I believe that it is good to have charitable contribution, but I don't think we could.
You can't demand it, right?
Yes, that's the point. You can't demand someone to give it to you.
Or expected.
Or even expect it. It has to
Yeah.
come from them, from their nature.
Yeah. We can demand that they pay proper taxes now,
Yes.
and many times they don't. Okay, a lot of times they get money by evading paying taxes. While we there, the poor man, they pay all the taxes where we have to pay or go to jail if we don't.
Yeah.
They know.
that the one thing I see very prevalent. There are certain businesses that can get away with servicing or receipt number 001 over and over and over. And there are other businesses where if you do that,
They scrutinize them
exactly. And I have seen that with my own eye.
Well, I thought that since they were digitizing the audit department and all those places, a lot of those things will be more blinded, and it just comes as a number. But
natural.
we don't know yet how that's all working out. But I was glad when the government said they were digitizing a number of the government offices, the lands department and the passport and the tax department, because it seems to put a little bit of a shade between the individual and what the process to be followed will be.
Yeah.
In the end, someone look at it, but sometime by the time that person get to look at it, it's a little late unless they start manipulating things.
Well, and as long as you have the human factor in there, where speech is being run by people who can manipulate it in the interest of those who they are in favor of, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
How you the whole up, G Mike?
Boy, it's rough. And the more I talk, the more I make a one cough, right? So
Yeah.
this but
Where the girl, they just tell the girl make you a nicely cup of tea with some honey and lime, man.
that way now we make it gone the last time when I asked
Yeah, I
her to do
think
that.
she's right behind that brick wall. I keep seeing her every minute.
Yeah.
You have to go to know Dr. Anderson here, help you.
Yeah.
My mom used to call it Ali Taddy.
Yeah.
Boy. No, but but you know what? With that, I guess on lime, where they go on with lime now? That $2 for $1 and no juice. I don't know how people.
Bro, your government squeeze everything
You think
dry.
of them, boy? Oh, yeah.
Them bloody PUP, boy, I tell you. They get
You
blood
know,
out of rock.
I wish Joe may have a guy that Joe need to take this lick in
I
here.
think Joe, see, now that I know who Aaron is, I think Joe never want me to
Yeah, you know what,
chicken out. He chicken
he has
out.
say you run the command, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have utmost respect for the honorable Koei. That's for sure.
Has the
Yeah.
verdict come out about the roadblock, the checkpoint with the young lawyer there?
Good point. All right. We're going on with that because at the end of the day, you have to look on that from several angles. Because the lady gone and run the checkpoint.
Yeah.
Now, I understand. I have a problem with checkpoints on a whole. It's in particular when they set them up in the middle of the day, when there's a lot of traffic and whatnot.
They're inconvenient. Yeah.
They're very inconvenient, and I try to figure out where they get. And then when I like that, when I pull up to the checkpoint and the police, they hustle. Why give me bring on, where I bring from a man? Buy me at least soda or something.
That's a terrible option to. I thought it would be a justified checkpoint that where they are looking for illicit stuff, looking for guns, looking for contraband, that kind of stuff. But if it's just police hustling, then that's
You know, at the
deplorable.
risk of exposing myself, anytime I pull up to a checkpoint on the south, they just say, Miss Anderson, go through. They never ever check me. No, I going. I know I stay.
Yeah.
But what make me so special that you decide not to check me? They're not like I did you any bribery or anything like that.
And you could
Tell
just
her what.
say,
Tell her G, Mike. Tell her why.
but the color his skin.
But we need to stop that.
Indeed, and how they know that also the hustler to get something you're
Correct.
gonna check it, deal with everybody the same way, and
Correct.
this the way it has to get first to be fair. But I don't know how you get that there, boy, because again, human nature, you got that human factor. Once that a human beings today, they would
Personally,
Yeah, I would to answer what Aaron says. I would think 80 or 90% of the people in a checkpoint is waved through.
yeah, I get
think-
waved through and I get stopped sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think check. Otherwise, nobody would move. It wouldn't move if everyone was brought to a level of investigation and search and stuff. So I think a vast
Personally-
majority of people are just processed through the checkpoint. They want you to obey the law and to stop and to observe it and give the officers.
Their
What I
respect.
did not realize was that in Belize, the custom officers had that authority to set
I'd
up
have never
checkpoints
stopped
on their
for
own.
one in there. Never. I would not stop for a custom officer.
Well,
if I saw a roadblock, I would stop.
but I think if we look at if I've spoken to a couple of attorneys on this issue, and they said under Belize law, the custom department, the immigration
They have the
department
authority.
has that authority to set up checkpoint independent of having constable police officer as part of their team, and that they have the authority to process it. They will, if they find something, they can
Where that
hold you
roadblock
to it.
is,
This one.
if you're going north, if you're going north, that roadblock on the left hand side is the police station. On the right hand side, I believe there's a Baja building there to check for any fruits or vegetables that you're bringing in illegally and so on. I guess from Corozal. I got no problems with checkpoints. I respect them. They're inconvenient, like G Mike said, but they serve a purpose to me. It's a deterrent, whatever. They do capture some vehicles that don't have license plate or are not insured, blah blah blah. So I got no problem, but yeah, they are inconvenience first thing in the morning, 12 o'clock in the day, whenever, when traffic is high and so on. But that lady should have stopped. She's a lawyer. Just be courteous. How many times has she been stopped before prior to that incident the other day? Why did she run it? Is there a reason why she run it? All these things come through my head, you know.
But they have porta entry. We have with porta entries, and that's for we items should be checked there. That's my thought process.
Yeah,
as far as
Well, they
but
could
you
have
buy
interior, they
contraband
could
right
have
to the
interior
Corazon,
enforcement.
you know.
Yes,
They
Greg?
could have interior enforcement.
repeat that, Mr.
I never
Morrison.
hear that.
Oh, no, I said they could have it doesn't have to be at the, that's one of the question I was saying. Do they only have that authority at some proximity to the border? And what was explained to me is that the customs and the immigration has the ability to have interior, that is beyond the border, enforcement and engagement with checkpoints.
I was always under the impression that the police that they're only arresting at 30. So if you're gonna go there and stop you and they need for arrest somebody, they don't have the power of arrest. So how are they gonna do it?
They'll take you to the police station, was what I was informed by an attorney.
I see.
That was a magistrate.
Well, they ought to know. It seems like a lot of trouble to me. I believe that I don't see why they can't have, if you're going to set up a checkpoint officially, have a police station, particularly where Jeremy said that there's a police station right nearby.
Yeah.
Right across the street from the checkpoint, right on the other side.
Yes.
Shouldn't be a problem. But that one, I agree with you, Jeremy. The lady should have stopped.
Yes.
You could lodge a complaint afterwards also.
Yeah.
But that kind of dangerous, because if she drive off and they shoot her down,
Yeah.
they're within their legal rights.
If that was America, somebody may have dead.
Yeah.
You know.
But that was a sad situation. Yeah.
But they've never searched my car at a checkpoint. They usually ask for my driver's license. They check my decals on the window to make sure that my vehicle has been registered and got a license, and they check my insurance. But they've never searched my vehicle, not yet, anyway.
Yeah, they have pulled me over. Usually when they recognize me, when they see me name, then they let me go. No. But
well, that's why you tell her I had a G Mike Reid, and they let me rent.
I try not to buy you in trouble. Yeah. I try not to break the law. Then let me put it that way, because I mean, a major inconvenience. I make sure my license in order, everything is in order. So that one day though, I saw that story and it was interesting. And it's funny though, because I want to go off into something else here with the media, how the media has been, in particular Channel 7. And this UDP thing, you want to hear this, Aaron, because I think they're too UDP. They really, Channel 7 is doing everything in its power to make the government look bad, and it's unfair. The thing with Johnny Briseño, that he sent a letter to them and whatnot. And did he apologize, Spooner? Was that what happened? They apologized for the letter?
I don't think so. Did he?
Well, he certainly shouldn't have done it on the government letterhead. He should have had his attorney do that if he felt that kind of way. That's a personal character and behavior. That was not an official government response, and it should not have been on government letterhead. That's all I could say about that action.
But I think the media has a responsibility to be objective, and not be. But
they did not lie. I looked at what was said. It probably leaned on the prime minister heavily, but there was I didn't see any bit of untruth in it or disingenuous type of maybe some misguided, but nothing that you could say was wrong.
But I think not just that one particular incident, Greg. I think there was a culmination of a constant barraging and nitpicking
But I hear you, but this government is doing a lot of stuff that is causing people to have concern about it.
Stop it, Aaron.
That don't mean attack.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, but
we have had quite a few issues, Mr. Chairman.
like what, Greg? Like what? It's not. That's
We
not.
have had the Budna. We have had the Budna episode.
But I
I know
really.
you want to dismiss it. I know you want to dismiss
No.
it.
But can we go talk about that a little bit more? Because I noticed it there is in the news again tonight.
Yes.
Isn't that? You don't think that has run its course though? I mean,
No, because the justice have not been served. The people,
served with
nobody has
what?
been found accountable. The government have not explained anything. They're investigating it, and there's no investigation because even the DPP said they gave her less than nothing.
yeah, BTPP all of a sudden. Listen,
You know, coming from him when just this weekend when he complained about his injuries and how he's still in a pain and all of that, coming from him, it doesn't go down well with me at all when I think of his victims. You know, I think he should just shut up. I think what he should do is he should stick to his rights as a Belizean citizen being kidnapped. But stop talking about himself, how they abuse and this and then that, and because he's abused people in his days.
and more than that, my point and the whole thing there, you know. And how does he do interviews from inside the prison of Guatemala when he's supposed to? And Jews keep giving him this airtime.
Maybe Guatemala wants to embarrass us. I don't know.
Of course they are. Of course they
Yeah.
are embarrassing our Belizean government.
I don't see it as an embarrassment at all. I think the embarrassing part of that is that we harbored that criminal for 6 years, as opposed to when we find out say he escaped from jail, return him to jail. We got him. He became a respected freelance journalist. And
Well, I don't know if he was ever respected.
Yeah. I want to hit this from a diplomatic standpoint because as G Mike, you know, my father served as the chargé d'affaires at the embassy of Belize in Guatemala. I'm in the day as his son. Guatemala never ever asked for Budna back. So diplomatically, there was no request to return him. So the country had absolutely no reason, right, to send him back to Guatemala. None.
Not a good reason. Not a good reason. They develop some goodwill with your neighbor who you try with them before the court. They try settle this matter. And again, I think we have to stop this hate Guatemala and the enemy and whatnot.
That's what we.
No. You know what? Honduras and Salvador might be enemies. Salvador and Nicaragua might be enemies. Belize and Guatemala, you talk about 18 million people of Guatemala and 500,000 of Belize. We don't got the luxury of being enemies with
Yeah, but when you serve diplomatically from Belize in Guatemala and they try to kidnap you every week, your view change, and that's my point. My view changed when I say for we car, they drive up to Fui house and then they tell you open fire upon the car behind you because then they try to kidnap you because you're the Belizean ambassador wife. Something wrong. That's the perspective I have. And we can't forget that part, G Mike?
Yeah, but that's not a government sanctioned action, Aaron.
Of course not. No.
Yeah.
Right.
No, so, but that's
Right.
different. That's
But
different.
my point is I don't have no goodwill.
This is what I say. So when you use that as a reason for that, you're kind of like they step outside and we're proper there, I think. Listen, we have to at some point try to establish relationships with these people. We first of all in a huge market. You know what? We could sell anything where we grow or produce. I mean, it would do us better to have a good relationship than. And I've heard the Prime Minister, the President of Guatemala, speak, and he seems very amenable to trying to work this thing out. I'm impressed with how he say. And with too long we were raised with Guatemala de Con, afraid for Guatemala. Well, I mean, at some point we have to get over that, man. And we.
Well, as long as they teach their children that Belize belong to Guatemala, I think we have a just cause to have concern as citizens of Belize?
Well, what we have to do is teach our children that Belize belongs to Belize and make sure I don't know if we do that enough. I don't know if we
We
instill
don't
enough
do it
patriotism.
enough, and we take in too many Guatemalans into our country.
Well, that's another
It's
thing too.
contradictory, you know, G Mike, because if we supposed to teach we future generations that Belize is for Belize, Guatemala is Guatemala, why would we want to give up a citizen of Belize who Guatemala has not requested at all for goodwill?
Yeah, because first of all, this man, they never want ordinary citizen. And when I hear this, I think again, this freelance journalist, that it was not that. This man, a convicted pedophile, a man that spent 10 years or is supposed to 10 years in jail for boogering and leave 14-year-old. When
What
I
part?
think about that child, huh?
Where?
In Belize.
Okay.
He was released in 2008. And what happened again in 2008? You
The
remember who
child
came
died.
in? No, who came into office in 2008? So funny because no. Think about this now. He got convicted for 10 years in 2000. In 2006, he attempted to escape, was caught and put back in jail. Normally, when you go back to jail after an escape, you have to do a full time or you get more time. Somehow, 2008, he is released, set free.
What part
Then,
of 2008?
right about that time, you know what I talk about. That you know about. You must mean that. Anyway, so, the man Ghana, Guatemala did 2 kidnappings. More than that, I want to catch on with, right?
Now more than that. More
This
than that.
that's what I say. So they convicted him, saying he was doing 2 sentences of 25 and 30 years. They escaped. Came in the hospital, guy say he's sick and he escaped. Came back to Belize. We knew that he escaped. Because when he come, I'd hear that story about. But then he start with the journalist and it show it shake it bottom in our face and whatnot. And I'm saying this is interesting because I really thought he was entertaining, flamboyant. I used to like to watch him eating and whatnot. But then when I hear say Ghana, Guatemala, and Canada, Guatemala, I'm like, all right, about time.
But
I'm sorry.
remember too that a young man was killed in his bedroom.
Exactly, and they
bed,
never did
remember?
try to figure out what was wrong with that.
And not note of that.
So
Nothing going
that's
on with
what
that.
I'm
No,
saying.
he get charged and then he was
It
did not
dropped the
guilty,
charge.
right? But let me ask you this though. That happened. His illegal return to Guatemala happened under your government, the PUP. Or
Okay.
not? I'm sorry. I cannot say your government.
Right.
Under the current government, the PUP.
I'm proud of them.
All right. So there's another huge case just get filed in a Belize courts for somebody else will get taken out of Belize for drug trafficking to the United States back in 2004
Correct.
under the same circumstances.
That was Herschela, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, when you look on a case from a legal standpoint, the government of Belize, no matter which government they're in, but when the case is done, the government of Belize will pay him because he was illegally taken out of the country without no due process, no nothing.
Yeah.
By whose government? By another PUP government.
Yeah.
I start to wonder if this is.
They play politics with the thing, man. They
Am
play
I?
politics with the thing.
They are not just facts, G Mike.
Yeah, I hear where they say, and I know I defend the PUP, and that I know why they.
That's why I changed your government to just the government.
Yeah, but because at the end of the day, though, he was wanted. And I remember the case. The U.S. government came and they went through. I don't know that he didn't have due process. What is
He
due
did not.
He
process?
didn't have due process because they tricked him to go to the police station, and then when they got there, they just turned him over. They didn't. You see, people need to then have representation, have a chance to have a representation, so that they can plead their case to a judge. And once a judge says we'll accept this extradition order, then that's the case. But why do it illegal? Why do all these things to usurp the law and violate the rights of citizens? You know, because even America has this process where you can't get moved out of their country unless you go to a judge and stuff. And in fact, I've never heard of anyone coming out of America, even though they are wanted in other places for different things under different countries' rules. You know, so you're not supposed to hand up your people without due process. That's what I believe. If a judge and a court could sanction the return, then that's what should happen.
There's another case that's now surfacing, and they've been bringing up since this Budna thing about a guy, Sebastian Pop, I think his name is, down south there, Iran. But he married to a Guatemalan, was living in Guatemala, killed the wife, and run Belize. Now, apparently, the girl's relatives came over, got him, took him back to stand trial. Now, if they can't hang on and whatnot, that I may be upset. But with something like that, I don't got a major problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that particularly either.
Yeah, because
that's not a state sanction. That's a family retributing justice for their family member.
Correct. So the one, but all right, but back to Budna. Budna again. If we keep the look at him as the victim, you almost excuse him away from all the atrocities that he committed.
I don't see him as a victim. I see as an injustice on the part of our government. I don't see him as a Budna victim because of all the things you mentioned, all his character flaw, all his bad behavior. I don't see him as a victim at all.
You kind of hard to draw the line there, you know. I don't know. I have a problem. I'm like Jeremy on this. I find it hard to feel any sympathy for this fellow because I'm a vicious criminal. Anytime you prey upon children like that, I know where you get to the ass for, man. You know.
You know, he reminds me of the situation.
But I want to really talk about the ICJ hearing that they had. I don't know if you spoke about it last week when I wasn't here. I was off for Thanksgiving. If you guys spoke about the ICJ hearing, trying to
we'll come back to that. We'll move on because we can see where we got see why they put up something here. So the other option was to let him stay in Belize and do what? No, it seems the option is that what they want to do is bring him back and then send him the right way, which is ridiculous.
It's correct, but that's the legal way. And I will bring up another case, if you don't mind. What is this spelling name? Fuller.
Rhett Fuller
went through due process and was never extradited.
Right, and he was for murder in the States.
Right. So that the way due process allowed him. He's
right. And due process, and that the way you want due process allow Budna too, correct?
No. Due process, period. If the US requested Mr. Fuller and he had the opportunity, the US requested Hertler, and that never happened. They just sent the request for him, a couple charges. When he reached the States, they throw our laundry list. Budna, they not even had one request. But because him in the talk and expose government stuff.
What do you mean expose? You not expose nothing. You didn't expose nothing. You know one thing where he exposed here.
All of the stuff where he made
I think he was an annoyance. He was an annoyance to the PUP and to the Prime Minister.
And that's
why they took him out.
annoyance, but they expose not. No, no, the way
So why somebody
the body,
will
by the way, last shine with the body, way last shine the house whip. What am I doing here?
that illegal too? The
Okay,
assault. But
assault.
for we legal system, we need to fix the legal system.
No, they are extenuating circumstances.
I like that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'm sure. I really do believe that not every one size not fit all. There's some you have to make some exceptions. See, you have to understand these laws are written by men. That's not written in stone, and they're subject to conditions from time to time. And in a case like this, I think we have to take into consideration the character of this individual. And we hold him up as this model citizen, which he was not.
No, we're not.
I think we are. I think that the whole everything. Oh, I'm a citizen, and if it happened to him, it could happen to anybody.
It could.
Who else has it happened to?
You Hurtla.
Yeah, but
Hurtla. My point is, G Mike, if he this current government they in a power from 2000 or 2020. Ever since he started to really talk about government stuff, all of a sudden he become an issue.
he don't
And
really
again,
talk about no government stuff. He didn't go
oh,
around to
really?
talk about all
He
kind
had
of
this
thing.
story attack the prime minister.
Yeah, no, he just can't ask him about something. I mean, they're annoying. It was an annoyance.
Get rid of the annoyance.
Why I hate for put it like that. But if you want to put it like that, you go put it like that. But no, I not think now. I don't think that basically that. He never really threaten nobody. He never man threat for expose nothing for nobody. He was bold enough to push, like I said, the mic up in the prime minister field. Maybe some of those reporters that we have ought to be doing that also. But I'm not willing to. Let's go on with another topic. Enough about Budna. I swear, I've had it up to here with Budna.
Greg was going to talk about the ICJ.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get you guys off that one because
Thank you.
every time we run on that one. And,
Nauseated. Yeah.
No, I wanted to see if you guys had a chance to look at the presentation for ICJ where they were asking whether Guatemala should be included in the hearing for the Zapadilla keys that was included as part of the case, well, a separate case with Belize and Honduras on the Honduras claim that they brought up right after independence. I think it was just before independence. Just before independence, Honduras brought this claim that they too had rights to the Zapadilla key because of their inheritance from Spain. So, and the court was in session to get the hearing. I think they had already made their submission, their written submission, and they were then in oral hearing as to whether Guatemala should be allowed to join that particular case. I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I
think
don't know.
Assad Schuman had no problems with Guatemala joining the case.
Yes.
I think our lawyer, a gentleman, I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He didn't want Guatemala to join the case.
Well, yeah, I think because they were fearful that it gives them a double dipping of sort of presenting evidence that is unrelated to that case, but is adjoined to the claim that Guatemala has against Belize, that they'll be presenting some of the same facts. And so, the more people hear the same thing, the more likely, even in judges, I believe, and different twists, if you see how things feel against people in cases, you get a first sounding to see how that works. I think that was one of the reasons why the lawyer didn't want it. And I think, like you said, Assad Schuman didn't seem to have had a problem with it. But I don't remember if he said Belize, because I didn't hear where our lawyer said he was opposed to it. I only heard where Assad Schuman had mentioned that that Belize did not have an issue with Guatemala joining. So maybe you could clarify or expand on that point, Jeremy.
Well, I just found it because I went on to the to see the speech that the other lawyer that's representing us,
Yeah, looks.
and it seemed that he was against the way he presented his defense or his whatever he was bringing to the
Presentation.
table. It was that Guatemala should be treated. They already have a claim
Yes.
with Belize and the Zapotillo Keys, and so
Uh-huh.
that should be left alone to deal with when our case and the ICJ goes with
Yeah.
that, and that they
Yes.
shouldn't be involved in this one here with Honduras. It's two separate things. But
Yes.
Assad seemed to have not had any problems from what I gather with that. That's what the headline said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I heard earlier that our case is going before the ICJ by the end of the year. But this was the case for only the Zapadilla Key, huh?
That's
Between
correct.
Honduras and Belize, yes.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Guatemala. Guatemala wanted to join in on it because they also claim the Zapadillo. But our lawyer said, no, that's a separate issue. We will deal with that when we go to the ICJ with Guatemala's claim to Belize. Let
Yeah.
Belize and Honduras
Well,
deal with what they're doing.
I think one of the concern Guatemala may have had is that they didn't want a ruling, although this case is supposed to follow the
And given
first
to
case.
Honduras.
They didn't want a ruling where they had said, okay, Honduras, you own the Zapadilla Keys, right? They
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
have a chance to make a presentation.
You know, this whole the premise on which Guatemala has built that case is as ridiculous as the Israeli case in the Middle East and Palestine, because they come, we not we most people don't believe this craziness anymore, that the Pope had that kind of authority for divide the world in a two and give half to one and half to the other. I think the whole papal bull had to be challenged first of all. They had and nobody respect it anymore. And anyway, so because that is what they're saying, that Spain owned it based upon that papal bull, and therefore they gave the they bequeathed the whatever property they had here to Guatemala. Which, have we ever heard from Spain in all of this? Have we ever said, Spain, did you really get in people right to this? And maybe we should talk to them.
I don't think we want to talk to them because I don't think that would be a good turn, because it brings back too much of the colonialist past on that kind of issue.
Well, that's why it should be disregarded as such.
Probably
because
so. I think it should be disregarded. I think
it makes no sense. And that man just says you're going to tell me about, I own this because the Pope gave me this.
Yeah.
Again, it's a tantamount to the same thing when they say, well, the Jews could take Palestine because God gave them as the chosen people. And to me, that's preposterous, man. I don't see that hole in no water at all. Where the evidence? Where the papers? Where the title where God gave?
You know, I'm surprised that you say that, Mr. Chairman, when you hold to this Christian belief so strongly, because I don't,
you know. I don't hold to any Christian belief strongly. I don't.
Okay. I thought maybe you did, but because that's the only premise that the churches in the United States hold to this, and are so adamant and so supportive of Israel.
Correct.
I mean, you hear people say all the time, whatever Israel, you know.
Yeah. You have to fight against Israel, fight against God.
Yeah.
And I find it totally ridiculous.
Okay.
How in this day and age, 2025, when we have evolved to the point where we realize that, you know what, this is a whole lot more. And let me make it clear, because I believe there's a God, you know, but that's not a Christian thing. That I want belief in our
Yeah.
superior being, no, something other than us.
Yes. Yes.
I came here, I
Yes.
didn't
Yes.
make me, I didn't make any of this. I'm just, it's a gift that I enjoy. But so and I give thanks for it. But as far as the whole Christianity thing and that Jesus is the
Okay.
Son of God, and you have, I have a lot of problems with that. I don't believe that, you know. And in fact, you know what? Even the Jews don't believe that Jesus even came, and so
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
contradiction on a whole.
Yes. 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 Yes.
But I don't think that. Listen, you got trouble. They remember what happened last week. You want to tell me 6,000 years ago? You remember God gave him money in a cave? Man, come on! You're laugh here, and I don't know
No, I agree too. I agree too.
because it don't make no sense to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
come from a very religious family, you know, on the gig side. He's very
Oh,
Catholic, deep Catholics. Yeah, Mr.
listen,
Edgar Gig. Mr. Edgar
many,
Gig was your grandfather, yes? Yeah.
No, William Gig is my grandfather.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. But then
Edgar
related
Gig
to Edgar
family,
Gig. Yeah.
that a brother,
Okay. So Jimmy Gig is who to you? Cousin.
my mother's brother.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
by
Okay.
the time you done, you got a manhole pedigree, man. But
Well, I want to know who to represent UDP. Yeah, I don't want to make
yeah,
mistake like I've
yeah,
done with PUP. You know.
But
So.
but, but you the call the staunch PUP then?
that people
Yes.
side
Yeah.
of the
That's
family.
right. Yeah.
And you know that's what Belize is. Belize is mixed up with family and
Exactly,
interaction with the
exactly.
parties. In my family, in the early part of my growing up, my mom was PUP.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My
And she,
father was NIP. My father liked Mr. Golson.
yeah, and my mom came from a PUP family way back there, Goff and Usher, and they are strong PUP, you know?
Yeah. I never know my Mr. Compton Fairweather told me that my father passed over. I hope George Price and his family not hear this, but that my father, you know, gave some donations to the NIP with Mr. Golson, but he admired Mr. Golson,
Yeah.
you know. So I think maybe because Mr. Golson was pro-British, maybe I don't know, but
I
that
don't
may
know
have
if he
been the
was
case.
pro-British, you know. See, what happened, people get separated. He appeared pro-British because
Yeah,
Mr. Golson was in for independence. He
He
was
was
always for
not
he
at
was
that time, though. Not
he
at
was
this
he was
time.
no, his
anti-George
party
Price.
name was the National Independence Party.
That's
But
right.
because they were opposing PUP in what they were
Correct.
doing, the only solace they had and support they had was on the British side at times. But he was not pro-British. He was not pro-British.
But he was against independence.
He was not really against independence. He was against
Well,
independence in the form that we got it without a
great,
defense
great.
guarantee.
They were fasting and all kind of thing leading up to independence. Remember that?
Yes,
Siobhan and a
yes,
whole
yes.
crowd.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't look at that in the moment and say they are against independence. They were against independence at that time under those conditions. That's what they were opposed to.
I think Wilson was just opposed to everything. He was the consummate opposition with no reason. Because even with the Webster proposal and all that thing, the way he almost brought this country to the brink of chaos. There was no substantial evidence that George Price was going to sell out any country, and he promoted the whole idea, and people just took it and ran with it.
Well, he was doing something. He was doing so. I don't know what he exactly George Price was doing, but he was doing something on the hand that was putting us more in the prospect and arms of Guatemala than to make us an independent, straightforward.
Do you remember Golson going to Guatemala for 9 days and came back here and talk about he had 9 days of freedom? You don't recall that, but you have done some research on that one. Golson went and for 9 days was there, hosted by the Guatemalans and talking to the Guatemalans, trying to get them for work with against George Price. George Price was a nationalist, you know, not Golson. Golson was opposed to everything George Price did, and I heard an interview what he did with Nur Muhammad in LA in his later years. I mean, done the give line. But that man, to me, he sounded bitter. It was not making any kind of sense. I'm sorry. Aaron, you're upon me like I wasn't too. No. I'll give you. I tell you, my pa was a pupil, and he like George Price and gone to school together and whatnot. I raised with my pa and my aunt in our house. And the funniest thing that when that time for my auntie that me a staunch NIP, she me love Golson. My pa now that staunch PUP. And I went time for paint the house. Okay.
Just for the record,
Uh,
my father ran in '84 under the Esquivel Borough UDP.
uh,
Um, he lost to McCoy actually
Okay.
by 200 votes.
which not too big, not too
No, not even back then. But the reason he lost was because Dr. Aranda had separated from the UDP,
Oh, and he ran independent,
ran
right?
independent, and took enough UDP votes.
Yeah.
that he couldn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it split the UDP vote.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
whole my lose.
I remember that. Yeah, so he got it then 200 way take away.
Oh, it took way more than 200, but if I lose by 200.
Ted
Yeah.
Aranda changed parties, right? He was UDP
Yeah,
and
and
then he got to
he
PUP.
was UDP, then he went independent, then he went PUP.
Yeah.
Because I was in LA when Ralph Fonseca and Syed Musa, George Price, Winston Smiling, they all came over and they had a meeting for sponsors and so on. And I was invited because I was living there. And Ted Aranda got up to speak, and I was blown away. He was talking about just like they're talking about Trump, the fascist and Nazi and all of that. He was saying the same thing about the UDP and so on. And I
Well,
had to tell
he
him,
was
guys, I said,
mistreated by UDP. He was mistreated by UDP.
I told him, guys, you have to get this guy out of him, and this guy's an idiot. You know, talking
He
to
was
them,
mistreated by UDP. He was
yeah.
mistreated.
You know, and I never know who he was. And there was a group of people. I said, did you hear that idiot talking about Belize and Nazi Germany and all that? And all of a sudden, I heard a voice said what I was trying to say. And I go, oh God, I put insert foot in the mouth, you know. But he was in the group there. But he was going on like painting a picture of Belize like it was a dictatorship and so on. So I don't know who was the prime minister at the time for the UDP.
Esquivel.
Esquivel was at that time. Okay,
But
that would be around in the mid 80s, right? 87, 88.
Mhm.
Esquivel.
Okay.
this
Yeah.
are the part of politics we are not like when they try to they condemn the country because it's being run by one like just like you ran the talk about the PUP government because it's a UDP don't mean everything about that. But I tell you, I grew up in a time when we were destitute. Most people are Belize, and that we Belizeans now have a higher standard of living than we had for sure. Back then, when we really got at school and when our exercise book roll up in our back pocket and what now, now that one whole there was another level. Everybody got shoes and uniforms and whatnot. I think we've come a ways, and we don't appreciate it enough. And not both governments. Both governments have, excuse me, held us where we're doing better than we used to do, and maybe we have to at some point appreciate that as opposed to just condemning everything about the other side, no.
But Mr. Chairman, we could do a lot better if we could eliminate corruption on both sides.
I agree. And I think that's where the fight should be.
Yeah.
Really against corruption. And they in fact, I wonder if the ones at the top not just to share it wrong amongst themselves to and look out for one another, because you hear all of this when they're in, but when they get out and the next one get in, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, where the evidence? You're in it now. You're looking at it. You must go use some of that. Let's see one of them go to jail. Just one. One of them go to jail.
G Mike, I personally believe now that we as a voting populace need to honestly sit down and say, hey, do I really want better?
Yeah.
And who will be the best person for the job? And it's so cliche to say, but the fact is, I, again, I will get attacked for this if anybody here. But in Stank Creek West, 1 week after my convention, there was another convention, and the person that was being supported by our now party leader, that probably me the worst person for support, and that person win. I'm afraid to say that somebody hopefully will step up and challenge her as caretaker for B Standard Bearer, because that person now will be a good representation of we country. We have to start to look at people not for not for you. Okay, I can reverse this. I think that sometimes our leaders put people in place that they know they can manipulate rather than
Exactly.
being the best.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. And unfortunate
Yeah.
because they're not good for the country. They're good for the party person.
Yes.
Yes.
Makes
We,
sense.
we're gonna have to get to the point where we look at people for the integrity, credibility, what they can offer to in the position, as opposed to what they can offer to me personally. You know what I mean? If I know as my friend, maybe if I get in a certain, we've got a land, I get a nice piece of land and whatnot. But I'm a selfish reason to support anybody. It has to stop.
Yeah. Aaron, you running for political office. What's your position on UNCA?
Oh, I would sign it in a heartbeat.
But it's been signed.
Well, implemented.
Implemented. Yeah.
Implement it in a heartbeat. I have no fear for UNCAC. Why? Because I personally know that I'm a person with integrity, honesty. I work hard for every little thing where I have and give to my community. And I don't need more than what I have. I have a house, I have a car, I have everything, all the basic needs.
Or do you declare your assets? You don't mind declaring your assets?
Not at all.
How much your worth?
Hey, that's public yet.
You know what, Chris Curry? Tell me your story, right? Next year, you know more than what Chris Curry.
Once you find out how much you're worth, you ask for a lead donation. Watch out.
That's right. Hey, that's
Earlier, G Mike, I stopped at the $9.99.
Christmas. Yeah. No, but
Look at that Christmas. Right now, I just set up a toy drive as well as food drive. And when I say food drive, I mean during the campaign trail, there were certain people that I met that literally stick with me. And there are people, elder people in our society, when I really have nobody to care for them, nobody to look out for them. And I want to make sure that they feel at least something for the holiday season.
At least one little Christmas thing, yeah. One little turkey or something like that.
Right. And that way I have a small select part of my campaign team where they handle that for me.
Yeah.
And that they come out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But
I do worry about the idea of a dependency society and people on that type of giving though.
But I'm a thin line though, Greg.
Yeah. No, I know you see a need and you want to fill it. You want to make sure that, like you said,
yeah.
just in the gesture of Christmas, that people have the.
Can I ask you a question, Aaron? One is, how old are you? And then the second question would be, what is your ambition? Is your goal to eventually become a minister for the UDP party, or have you quit after this incident where you were caretaker?
I am almost 48. And in the words of Shine, Prime Minister, that the next step. I actually want to work up to party leadership. I think that we have lacked um, representation that could honestly handle an international forum from all sides.
Okay.
Well, the Honorable Dean Barrow was actually very good internationally, but it's a thing that we have missed. In fact, the Honorable Musa Said Musa was good as well internationally. Um,
Okay.
the Honorable,
Shine.
not Shine, Honorable um, Esquivel never really venture out as much. Dean Barrow did a lot of that venturing out internationally under Esquivel. And I know that because that when my permit to work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
But I think that right now we have a lack of people that I believe, and this is just my opinion, that could serve the country internationally. And the reason I say that is because I believe that we have voted in people because of what you hope they could do locally, because of popularity locally, and
Popularity, I agree that one there.
take
Yeah.
a picture internationally. And we have to start to look at things internationally. Because you cannot build a nation enclosed within that nation. You need that international help, and you have to be able for the up to that mark internationally.
I,
And
notwithstanding all the contributions of the Right Honorable George Price, I think Dean Barrow was in a position to be the best ever out there. Um, Unfortunately, he disappointed and he fell short of his potential. He was eloquent. He just had amazing vocabulary. He was
He was a,
confident.
he came across as a statesman. You're
He was
totally
a
right there, Gina, I
statesman. He
think.
was a statesman. But I think you know what I'm afraid downfall. I think Elvin Penna. Penna was when he put everything behind Penna after Penna obviously was in violation of some strict morals there. I
You're signing passports. Yeah.
Yeah, that right there. And then he went out there and he made sure that he telling kind of try recall and whatnot. And he gone out and he out on a limb for support the man. And I'm saying, why? But you and support him after all of that. He should have sacrificed him and he could have lose him because he had that. I think on two. I mean a slim margin at the time and they come and lose one, and the whole party may look much better. He would have looked much better. I think it was a cardinal mistake on his part.
If I can ask you one more question, Aaron, is okay, we got two parties in Belize, PUP, UDP. Forget about a family affiliation to UDP or whatever. What drove you to be wanting to be a representative of the UDP as opposed to what didn't PUP have that you just felt that they weren't the party for Belize? What makes that difference to make that decision between the two parties?
I
If I'm
think
asking it
because I
correctly.
was indoctrinated from a young age within. I remember the early 80s as a Lee Pickman, um, Honorable Dean Barrow, people like Elodio Aragon, um, Honorable Esquivel, Honorable Aragon, I should say. All those gentlemen coming toward the 84 election, and then it sleep the Fui House. Fui House back then is what is now Bonefish Hotel, the Dangriga. And all the meetings and all the hype around the UDP. And so being brought up that excitement, to me, like one of the most beautiful songs, that when the hands start with the for the "We Want Our Country Free" song, like that just get me hyped. Um, and so that just it started from that. But when I look at party politics, I'm afraid to work with what PUP representative, I choose to stay on the UDP side because I believe from what I believe in my father, and I trust that his judgment could lead me in the right direction, and that was his judgment. I have seen development under the United Democratic Party, and maybe what blind eye, what favoritism
Yes.
or bias.
Yes.
Um, but
Go ahead.
that's how I grew up, and I look at politics needs to be inclusive now, and I choose to be on the side of the red, but we have to include our counterpart, our blue partners. So if I would ever win what election the Dangriga, whoever run against me from PUP, I would have reach out immediately and say, hey, you have the rest of the support in the community. We need to bridge that gap and make sure that I know what is on their mind through you and know what's on the mind of my supporters and make it work together. So I think that we play party politics way too much, especially in my community. Like we know the grow because of party politics. That victimization thing is real in Dangiga. And
Let
Are you presently happy with the makeup of the UDP as it is today?
nope.
no.
No.
I go answer that for him.
Well,
Listen,
that's okay. Well,
let
no,
me
that's great. That's great. Yeah, I like the answer he's telling me. Yeah.
let me ask the question, and all three of you guys could help me out. Is Belize ready for a third party? Should there be another party, and will it make a difference?
I don't think so. I think because of the financial potency of the major parties, a third party without the financial backing will never have that chance.
Hard to survive.
Hard to survive.
Any
And
independence could you think could make it?
I actually see a couple people that I think if they stick independent might be able to shake a couple leaves.
I
No,
think I
I want
would.
to talk
Yeah.
one little bit.
Yeah.
Just to clarify something, am I satisfied with the makeup of the United Democratic Party as it is today? And my answer was no. But I am more satisfied with it locally in the Dangrika constituency than nationally. I do have to
Okay.
say that.
And I would tend to agree with you on the sense that I would think an independent would get in more than a third party. I think I don't know if Belize, the size of population, all that is ready for a third party. I think the
No.
UDP and PUP are too well entrenched, but I think an independent would have a better chance. I have no stats to back it up or whatever. Maybe it's how I think. You know,
Miss
sometimes
Banner
I don't.
from
Huh?
Belmopan in the last election did pretty good. In Dangriga, we had a gentleman, Cyril Uruye, that did pretty well as an independent also. Um,
Where
and
is he at now? Because he's been active. He's on Facebook a lot.
it's still
But
there, Dangriga.
and he's still an independent though. He's has he gone moved towards one of the parties yet?
Nope, still independent.
Okay, it'd be interesting. Greg, any thoughts?
Well, I sentiment that independent is always very hard to do because of the financing. But I think individually, people could show up and get elected. They would have to be well known in the community. They would have to put in the groundwork, and somehow either independently wealthy or be able to attract some type of financing to kind of muster the campaign that they need. But I think individuals could, but I don't see an independence party working its way out. And I do think an independent party, if it's a tight election where one or two or three people win that are independent, that they could make a significant difference
Oh
in
yes.
in terms of how the country is governed moving forward when they make their alliance with one of the party and help forming the government. It does create some fragility in governance, but I think that something like that could play out well and may be the only break that could save Belize from the two-party system as it's currently structured.
But you're saying they have to align with one of the parties eventually.
They will need to. They'll need to form the government because, you know.
Yeah, what are you going to do by yourself? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Given what Jeremy was saying, how entrenched they are, no?
Yes.
How established the two parties are. They're not going to be, they're going to let that happen so easily. Anyway, guys,
I'm afraid for run independent, you know.
Well, you should they run. You should. I mean, that might be your option, no? Because the PUP don't like you, UDP don't like you. Anyway, guys, listen. It's we got a couple of weeks before Christmas. One more thing: the matter of alcohol being too abundant in Belize. Should we look at that and be concerned? I mean,
I think too many. I think the city council have, particularly in Belize City, have gotten very loose in terms of issuing alcohol license throughout the city, and it caused that we're finding that every 4 or 5 blocks you're finding some place that even illegally we find that some of these restaurants are selling beer and stuff illegally. So there are lots going on with that's creating an epidemic throughout the city. And we see that in the evidence of all these motorcyclists and car drivers that are driving under the influence, whether it be alcohol or some type of marijuana influence.
Yahosha, one of these days online for pronounce your name, says that Aaron Anderson articulates a permanent observation. If the widening chasm within the two-party system is not reconciled, Belize is likely to continue its misguided path towards becoming a failed state in the near future. I hope you're wrong. Anyway, the Seasmoke team says that they're back in Iran, but doing good. Guys, listen.
Before we sign off, nice meeting you, Aaron. So now I know who you are. Okay, good one.
Would you vote for him, Jeremy?
Yeah, man, I'd have vote for him. You sound good.
Just got a white boy, right? That's
definitely. Just because he's a Caucasian.
I bet you never vote for Greg Morrison.
I'd have vote for you, G Mike. You look white too, so I'd have vote for you too.
I bet you never vote for Greg Morrison though.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Who else would have voted for me because they call me President of Griga on Crim?
There it is. Guys,
okay, so I remember that. No, Greg is a cool guy. I like Greg. I think Greg would do very well too. He sounds like an honest man.
Unless it's just to pull the wool over our eyes, no? But
maybe, but I don't think so. I think he's genuine.
You have to check him. Drag across the grill first and see where they go on. Guys, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure. See you next week, same time, same place. See why we're done here.
All right, gentlemen. Good night, everybody.
Good evening. Thank you for joining.
I'm gonna go make my cup of tea. With some honey, G Mike, honey and tea and lime.
But Mission bust.
Yeah, you have to take care of that.
Yours, incredible, lovable, adorable, respectable. Not because me know soul wide open means semi-gullible. Oh. Got daddy bubble, daddy thing, ready get we in a trouble. You have not a dread, this it doubles. Hit the bottom like an apple. Gal daddy bubble, daddy thing, ready get we in a trouble. You have not a dread, this it double. Hit the bottom like an apple. Watch when me pull out me needle, sink it deeper than a bow weeble. Brand you with the ballistic label, make you wrap your neck with Scadginil or Sink and Bible. My intentions honorable, as an impression should be treated well noble. Trips around the world, we talking global. When we done wrestle, we could cuddle. Gal daddy bubble, daddy thing, ready get we in a trouble. You have not a dread, this is double